Welcome to Waypoint X Wednesdays. Let's get started. Welcome back to Waypoint X Wednesdays. My name's Judd. This is Adam, and we're bringing you episode 2. So got some good response from episode 1. Everybody was really excited that we're bringing it back, and the people who did listen that I've heard from really enjoyed it. They thought it was real, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
A little bit better with 2 people.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
All the time. So we've got a lot to talk about today. Some from some comments we had via YouTube. It is on Spotify if you want to go listen to it there. I'm not a big Spotify guy, but there are people out there.
No, actually, I am.
You are?
I'm a big Spotify guy.
I just never have gotten into it, so it is out there.
Yeah. I like the podcast on Spotify because it's all collective. So once you find a podcast that you like, you can get all the episodes at one time. YouTube's a little bit harder, especially like for us having a YouTube channel. You have the podcast mixed in and the videos. Spotify, you can just like turn it on and drive down the road. So
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah.
I had a lot of good feedback from the people that I talked to. Even the length, I know that was a long one.
Right.
But a lot of people seemed to like that because they felt like they were involved with it. And some played it as, background at work, but could get enough information out of it. So, yeah, I enjoyed it last time. So, yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So going off some of the comments, they were, I think one comment was just kind of thanking us about saving their Jeep.
Yeah. That was a pretty big comment too, which is kind of what the goal is to have that higher quality Jeep builds and to help people as much as possible. So yeah, that was a good one too. Right.
And so I think on that one, there's been a few Jeeps since that have some of the same problems. But I believe that one was done by a dealership. We won't say names.
Yeah.
Because it could have just been a mechanic of the day, right?
Yeah. Friday Jeep.
Yeah. So one issue, kind of jumping right into all this, but one issue we see on the JLs a lot is when it was gearing issue. They had gone and had some possible whining or issues, something like that of that nature with the rear end. I know there were some leaks, and so they basically had the rear end redone, like master install kit, new seals, new bearings, things of that nature, and it was not set up correctly.
Yeah. So we kind of dealt with that yesterday on a rear end that we were setting up, and I think that it's worth you kind of walking through that because in the JK it is so different on the setup and what you're actually looking for. So kind of go into, we had the JL brought in, figured out that obviously it wasn't set up right, took it apart, and I think at that point you kind of knew inherently, I think I know what the problem is.
Right.
Kind of get into that a little bit of what that issue was.
So that one came in, and Adam and I were actually taking it apart. Say they heard a noise in the rear end. That's what it was.
Yeah. They heard a noise that they said distinctively came from the back. Knew it wasn't brakes. Knew it wasn't driveline.
Right.
But didn't know exactly.
Right. And so we didn't really start banging and we kind of a process of elimination. So when you do go bigger tires, especially on a JK or JL TJ axle, they are not what we call full float.
Correct.
Hub, basically. So you have an outer bearing that sits inside of the axle housing, basically on the outside, and there's 4 bolts that hold that on.
Correct.
It holds the bearing in, basically.
A retainer.
And so those bearings can fail, and also you can bend the flange, especially on a JK.
Yeah.
Because if you're behind a Jeep and that back tire is doing this little wobbly motion, I guarantee you the bearing's bent or the flange is bent.
The flange is bent. Yeah, I've been a flange myself. So it happens.
Usually it's not the bearing because the bearing is kind of stuck in there a certain way, but because this is walking so bad, when you do take the retainer off, I've had it where, well, that one in point,
Yeah.
when we pulled, so we thought it was a bearing.
Yeah.
Because it almost like you could turn the wheel, something didn't sound right. So we thought, okay. So we start pulling off. We take the 4 bolts off. We pull the bearing out, and the roller bearings start falling out.
Yeah, literally into the floor.
Yeah, and we're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, we got a problem.
Big problem.
Yeah.
So we're thinking, okay, cool, just axle shafts.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like, okay, something's still not right. Let's keep digging in further. So we took the cover off, started doing some inspection there, and you could take the entire carrier with the gear, ring gear
it's
on
still
it.
attached, by the way. Everything's still bolted in.
Yeah.
The cat bolts are still in.
Everything.
Yeah.
And you can move the carrier
In a circle.
yeah, like
Yeah.
it's in orbit.
Yeah.
Orbit in there.
Yeah, it was bad.
It's bad. Like, I'm surprised it didn't grenade. And so we found that, and then me probably just not thinking about it, but you went up underneath the Jeep and you took the pinion and was able to do this with
Yeah.
it. Like, that was even messed up. And you're wondering how all this happened. Like, did they mess it up so bad to where they didn't check pinion preload, they didn't check backlash, they didn't check all these different things that, if you're not familiar with, we have to check when we set up gears.
Yeah.
It can be really a headache because the numbers get really. I'll let you talk about that for a second.
So I want to talk about this because this is probably the most common thing that I hear on social media and talking to people in the Jeep community. A lot of people are comfortable DIYing their Jeep in their driveway or in their shop, and that's fine, totally fine. Don't want you not to do that. But the one thing, there's two big, I guess, points that people don't want to touch. They don't want to touch a transmission, and they don't want to touch gears.
Right.
They are willing to pay a shop to set gears up because it is so critical. And trust me when I tell you, if you've never done it, it is very daunting and it will intimidate you. Now, is it something that anybody can do? Absolutely not. Is it something that you can't do? With enough research and somebody who can teach you, I think that you could do it. I'm learning.
There are so many variables.
Yeah. The process of elimination and the steps to get there there's so many steps. And I think that's what's intimidating to people when they do gears is if you don't do all the steps, you cannot shortcut that. You can't skip a step, right? So I think gears is probably, let us know in the comments what you think. But I think gears, if you ask any Jeeper, what is the one thing you're scared to touch on your Jeep? I think gears is it.
Also, I think they're scared to invest and go that route because they don't fully understand why or the reason behind it.
Yeah, and we can get into that here in a second. But yeah, go back to what you were talking about.
We're trying to figure all this out. It's moving in orbit, and we pull it all out, and to the point to where the housing is shot. I believe that's the housing. We replaced the whole housing.
We did have to replace the housing
because the bearing caps, the actual housing, it had basically eaten it.
So
it
much.
So we were very afraid. I had to tell the customer, could we put new bearings in it, new races in it? Absolutely. Is it going to work? I can't guarantee it. Like, I can't put a warranty on that.
Yeah.
So you're going to spend a lot of labor time, a lot of money on new bearings because the JL master install kits are not cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things. And so,
especially if you do it twice.
Yeah, exactly. And so we said either we can just replace the housing, and you can almost replace the housing with new gears.
Yeah.
Like already come from the factory, whatever, cheaper than you can for me just to set it up sometimes. And so it was cheaper that route, but it was so bad. But what we figured out, the reason of why all that happened, because I kind of like to find out the why.
Yeah, the why is a big deal.
Right. So what I believe happened was, and I think Adam will agree with me now, because when we were setting up some gears yesterday, JL rear end, same concept. If you didn't do this properly and you didn't look for it, I think it would.
You could miss it.
And it would cause, over time, major problems.
Yeah.
So what I believe happened is on the carrier bearings for the JL, unlike the JK, because the JK had a lip.
Yes. That's the big definitive thing.
Yeah. So when you press the bearings on the carrier and you're putting it in your shop press, when you press on that bearing, and you have like a a driver. We call it like a seal driver, or I just put it on top so that way it seals it. It presses it down flat, evenly flat, and everything like that. It bottoms out on the actual carrier on the top piece
that carries the shaft.
That carries the shaft before it bottoms out where it's supposed to bottom out, like on the actual housing.
Before the bearing is actually seated.
Yeah, exactly. He's a little bit better at explaining the different things than I am, because like in my head, we were talking before the show about how my head is like on step 150 and he's there, like y'all are probably still on step 2. Yeah, and I'm already like, so it's hard for me to revert back and explain it when my head's like
going.
Yeah, it's already fixed.
Yeah.
So he's going to be the interpreter.
Yeah, I'm going to be the I'll connect the steps 2 to 150.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we were talking about that before the show, but it's funny. So a lot of things in the shop happen. It's just funny how things work. And
yeah, for sure.
But so he's
how
really
you figure things out.
Yeah, it's really good. But let's get back to the good stuff.
Yeah.
So when you don't press that all the way on, what can happen over time? And because you have a lot of pressure within that carrier, driving, off-roading, things of that nature,
especially in the rear.
Yeah,
it's always
because that's it. Everything's always, the power's always going there.
Exactly.
And so the bearing starts to walk. And what I mean by walking is it's starting to walk down because it's not fully seated. The other problem is not only can that bearing walk per se, but now because you have, it could be, that we're talking thousandths of an inch here.
Yeah.
Which is not a lot. Like you're talking paper here.
Yeah. For those of you who have never done this, or maybe you're just new to Jeeps, you're talking micrometer that you're using, like tens of thousandths
of an inch,
like the thickness of your hair.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's very, very critical. And when you have 10 thousandths, 20 thousandths, 30 thousandths of an inch, that doesn't sound like much. And it's not. It's really not in the grand scheme of things. But when you have all these things that are pressed together, that are a press fit.
That's supposed to align.
Yeah.
That's
and
right.
They have to be in those tight tolerances not to wear out anything in there. If you miss that step, it's crucial.
So I'm making up a number because there's no way for you to have known the tolerance in there. But let's say 30 to 50 thousandths probably. I would say something like that.
Yeah, you're probably
in that area of gap that the bearing is not seated on the carrier correctly. So you now throw that carrier in there. You check your backlash. You now you have shim both sides to get your backlash of where that carrier is. But the problem is you are 30 thousandths or more off because you didn't press the bearing on all the way.
Yep.
And so now over time, if that bearing moves at all, because the thing is, the bearings are pressed on. So you have your axle here, or so your housing, right? Then you have your bearings. And so between your bearings and your housing are the shims. 90, other axle types, they'll put them behind it, but on the JKJLs, they're on in between.
Exactly.
So we're going to talk about the Jeeps.
Yeah.
So they're in between. So when you push it into the carrier, everything is pushing inwards because you want it tight.
Exactly.
Well, the 30 thousandths is between the carrier and the bearing.
Yes.
So everything is getting pushed this way. The problem is when you do that, that bearing walks, and you start getting a gap. You get side-to-side motion, right? So then you have that side-to-side motion, which then vibrates the pinion, which then causes that pinion bearing to wear out, and that's why the pinion was really loose. You've got the carrier that's doing this now, all around. Well, those axle shafts are not meant in the tube to be going left, right, up, and down, and all around the world.
Just supposed to spin straight line.
Yeah, straight line. And so basically it started in the carrier and went every direction it could.
Yeah. Yeah, so, if you're mechanically inclined and you've been around a Jeep and you know, but for the people that don't know, your drive shaft only spins one way when you're in drive, obviously.
Right.
All right. And then that motion in that carrier is designed to be distributed in a certain manner under a certain load pretense. And that's one thing that I think when you press the bearing on and you check your backlash and you check all your things, you don't have a load on the Jeep.
Right.
So you can't run it. I mean, I guess theoretically you could if you want to be dangerous, to check it to be able to see that, right? So you've done all the thing and in your head the math works, so you put it on the ground. Well, the first 500 miles, you may not hear anything. You think you've done it right. And if you've never cracked it back open, other than to check fluid.
Oh, when we opened that one up, it was like a glitter bomb went off.
Man, that's what I was going to tell you. Like, you don't do stuff like that. And taking the time to do your routine maintenance and the break-in and all those procedures, a lot of people will tell you, and I was guilty of it too, you kind of think in your head, is it really necessary?
What's the point?
Yeah.
But that's where you catch this stuff.
Yeah. Like, I don't...
Before it's...
Bad. Yeah. So do what it tells you, because at the end of the day, what could it hurt?
Right. I mean, so there's a lot of speculation out there on... this is another rabbit hole, so don't let me stick on this too long.
Yeah.
But fluids and brand manufacturers of fluids and this, that, and the other. I will tell you, I'm not going to tell you brands, what this and that. There are a lot of brands, whether it's gears or whatever. It could be. You can go into the parts world.
I get that too.
But fluids, they come in from the same factory, different label.
Yep. Yeah. Look up who makes engine oil.
There ain't that many.
That's right. There's very, very few people in the world that
now,
make engine oil.
Could you get quality A, B, and C? Like this might be a better, production run.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Absolutely.
Of course. Yeah.
But it's all coming from the same place.
I agree with you.
They're just bottling it differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. The majority of manufacturers that make gear oils and engine oils, they're sister companies of all the other major conglomerates around the world.
Yeah. So just to hurt your feelings even more, and if you're a manufacturer out there, well, it's just the truth. Like I'm not going to tell you something that's not true.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm not here to lie. Gears, for example, I think I could be wrong on the actual number, but I think there's only like 2 or 3 or 4 maybe like gear manufacturers in the world.
That's like a very small number when you think about how many vehicles are out there. Think about how many manufacturers.
So, yeah, they might be all these brands that you see. Yeah, they're buying it from these companies and putting their name on it. But, yes, is there quality A, B, and C? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it is all coming from out of the same place. You might, this mold was better.
Yeah.
Whatever. The casting, all that.
But as far as the breakdown and where it comes from and what it is, it's all the same.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that alludes to the fact of why there's so many manufacturers that have the same recommendation for how you install stuff and the break-in process.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. So another thing is during the break-in period, don't use synthetic. You know why?
So, yeah, explain that a little bit to them.
So if you have I know Revolution, since we're putting some Revolution gears in a Jeep currently, they recommend you not using synthetic gear lube for break-in period. After that, you can do whatever you want. The reason is the break-in period, they want the gears to heat up and to mesh together. Synthetic
prevents
that because synthetic oil is trying to keep the temperature down.
Yeah, it dissipates heat better.
Correct.
Yep, 100%. And that's what I think the nuances are. There's a lot of little bitty things that I think people in our market in the Jeep world that you maybe have heard before, like in a podcast or in a YouTube video or maybe just in conversation with other Jeepers. And like now with social media, there's so much information that's out there. Some people kind of, I don't really know if that's true or not. Like, why would you tell me? So again, back
forums
to the why. Exactly.
Or it's horrible because you're going to get 15 million things. And you could say, oh, well, this is just another forum we're talking. But I really don't. There's no point for me to lie to you.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I got no reason. I'm not brand loyal per se. Like
not
if something,
bought.
Yeah, I'm not bought. So
why not tell the truth?
And yes, does the business make money? Absolutely. I don't take a paycheck from it though. So I'm a fireman paramedic. For y'all that don't know, that's where my livelihood comes. That's where I pay my bills, all that. Does the shop pay for our tools and stuff like that? Absolutely. But I don't take a paycheck from it. So I have a little bit, there are other places that will say, oh, that's a great product.
You have to run this or you have to run that.
Hey, it's so great because they're getting X, Y, and Z out of it, money, kickbacks, whatever. They're able to make more money at the end of the day versus me. It doesn't matter to me. Like, I want to do what's right.
Back to the JL. I believe it's on the smaller side. So there was something that you pointed out yesterday. If you're in the JK world, you understand what I'm going to talk about. If you're new to the JLs, so on the JK, the bearing caps and bearing sizes are the same on both sides, on passenger and driver side, on the carrier. So into the JL, they're different.
Correct.
And there was some nuances, and the reason I'm saying this and bringing it up, because this problem, this issue with the bearing that we had that wasn't pressed on all the way, and we later learned by investigation when we got the carrier out that the bearing, in fact, was not pressed on all the way by you looking at the race. Now,
because it was walking inside of the race.
Yeah, so we get we're like you said, we're doing the JL gear now, and we get it out, and he's kind of teaching and explaining the whys, which again is kind of our big deal here. And I'm pressing bearings on, and he says, "Do you think that's on?" And I would tell you, in a real world situation, had you not asked the question, which kind of triggered me as to, hey, I really need to be looking for something specific, I probably would have said, yeah. Like,
because it bottomed out.
Exactly. The press bottoms out, and then you look at it, and if you've looked at a bearing pressed on, you think, well, that's pretty close. That's got to be it. But it's on the small side. In this case, is where the locker was.
Yeah, your magnet.
Yep. So there's no lip
for
there.
the e-locker people.
Yeah. So there's no lip like on the JK for you to see it to bottom out. So he says we got to go further. Now, kind of the 30 to 50 thousandths that you're talking about,
and it might be less, but
yeah, it's still
a good bit.
Yeah, but it was enough to say it's not on all the way. So then we press it, and then you see the grease kind of squirt out in between or whatever, and then you're ready to go. So now the other thing too about the JL, fun fact, if you have an e-locker, tell them what you can't do to get the ring gear off.
Yeah, so that bearing that is on that side is very difficult to get off because there is no lip that they manufactured onto the housing.
That's right.
I'm talking about the carrier. Sorry, I keep on saying housing, but carrier. It's early while we're filming this.
Yeah, it is early.
So my brain is not, the words are not computing. So he's the interpreter over here. Okay. Kind of like how the Northerners say pop or whatever.
Yeah.
And
No,
Coke.
It's Coke.
Yeah, it's Coke. So same thing. He'll interpret for me. So there's no lip on it. And so to pull it off is very difficult.
Kind of sketchy, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And when you pull it off, for us, or for my luck, right, there might be some specialty tool out there that I don't know. But I don't.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go there.
I don't know. You're going to ruin that bearing. The likelihood is high.
Yeah.
Now we pulled one off yesterday, and it did not mess up. And I would have reused it. I felt pretty confident.
Yeah, it didn't damage the cage, didn't damage the race. Yeah.
But that's, like I said, it's a 50-50 shot if it catches or not.
Yeah, I would tell you it's less than that. If you've ever pulled a bearing off, especially on a carrier, and you've used the clamshell style, which is what we use, if you've ever done that, you understand how they have to. There's a lip that goes up under to grab and remove it.
The problem is the carrier, the lip is the size of the bearing, so you can't get underneath it.
Exactly. So I would tell you the likelihood that you can get that off and reuse it's, 70-30 maybe.
But the problem is you can't go to Advance or O'Reilly's and buy another one.
So we did learn a fun fact yesterday that we'll get to. So you have to take the bearing off.
So you have to take the bearing off. Then you have to take the magnet off, and then there's I would call it it's a weird looking plate basically, but
magnet retainer.
Yeah, retainer type thing. You pull that off, and then you can take the ring gear off.
And you have to do that every time.
Yeah, to take the ring gear off.
Yeah.
So there is no other way around it. And if you have to do that, you have to change that bearing.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I'm going to change that bearing.
Yeah, I would too. Now, the one that we got off yesterday, I would probably, I'm with you. We put it on the shelf. We cleaned it up. And we'll have it as a backup.
As a backup.
Yeah. So back to to the beginning, this is the whole problem with the JL. So we finally find this problem, and kind of instinctively he knew by inspection that he kind of thought he had an idea of what it was. So we get it pulled apart. Hey, this is your problem. Then I think you called the customer at that point. I think that day we sent him some pictures and videos and said, hey, we don't really trust the housing. You gave him it's 50-50 shot here if you want to use it or not. So they did opt the way that we like to see it. They, bit the bullet. They got a new housing,
right.
New carrier, new gears. So it gets set up. We put that in, and I think we changed literally every bearing, pinions and all in that one. It was all brand new.
It came new.
Yeah.
It was already set up.
Okay. So did we change the gear ratio in that one?
I don't think
so. Keep
what
he had?
I think we had, but I mean, we just double checked everything.
Yeah. Which was good. I mean, we didn't have any problems with that.
Like I won't take the pinion out. I don't mind taking the carrier out because that's easy. Because I do want to check pinion preload. Mm-hmm. So how tight they've gotten the preload on the bearings for the pinion. Mm-hmm. If I'm explaining that the right way. And then I don't mind putting the carrier back in there, and then making sure all the caps are torqued to spec and stuff like that. I check the ring gear bolts because I've seen different places not Loctite them or torque them mm-hmm. to spec. So that's another problem.
Yeah, so I think another podcast, and comment below if you would like to see this. Not necessarily we would do a whole podcast video of how to set up gears, but maybe throw in some pictures of some stuff that we're talking about. If you don't understand what some of this stuff is and you'd like to know about it, leave a comment, ask some questions, and I'm sure he's got plenty of footage, or we could get some to kind of let you know.
So that way you kind of understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's the
because if you've never opened up a differential before, it's kind of, you think, like, looking at it, you're like, man, it doesn't look that bad.
Until you open it.
Until you open it up and you start seeing these shims that are like super thin that literally slice your thumbs up. Like,
oh yeah, we got some cuts last night from them.
Oh yeah, they're gonna cut you because I don't wear gloves.
And I don't like wearing gloves either. No. So,
but going on, that was the problem with that JL.
Yeah,
we ended up, the customer super happy. We fixed it because it was basically a grenade waiting to go off. Like the pin was already pulled.
Yeah, yeah. You were counting the seconds. It was about to blow.
Yeah, and the problem is when it did go, let's say it wouldn't have been. Could it have been catastrophic? Absolutely. But I have seen it actually happen at Florida Jeep Jam 2 years ago. So a shop down there, I don't know what shop, had re-geared a Jeep for this
customer.
Well, yeah, participant at the, I didn't know him, for the participant. Well, they did not torque the ring gear bolts to the carrier. One of the ring gear bolts backed out.
Oh, that's not good.
All the way. It got caught in between the ring gear and the housing.
Ooh.
And he was he was going up some rock sections, and then all of a sudden it shot out of the side of the housing. It blew. It looked like somebody took a gun
and shot a hole. Holy
out
crap.
Of the actual, like, the center,
cast.
the chunk.
Yeah.
Shot a hole out of the cast.
Yeah.
I was like, I've never seen something happen like that.
Yeah, no, I've never seen anything like that happen.
And
that's
literally, because like I'm going back on the trail because I'm thinking like so it was not in a place, like it was more up on the side. So it was not in a place, like it was weird where it was.
Yeah.
But it was not in a place where I was like, hey, a rock can hit that point.
Yeah, right.
Like I know I have rocks in this obstacle course. But this rock would have been like lodged up under like somewhere weird. And I was like, it just
fell from the sky.
But basically from where he said it happened, or he felt like the gunshot go off.
Yeah, right.
And there was differential oil from there all the way to the parking lot.
Yeah, so
like that housing's gone. Like the whole axle.
Yeah,
gone.
it's shot. Yeah, you're getting new stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and the reason that we bring up gears for a couple of reasons. One, obviously they're incredibly important when you lift and change tire size, but also for the front. If you're going to do the front specifically or the rear, if you have to change axle seals and you want to try to do that, that's not a horrible job to do, but
you better know how you took it out and put it back in.
Yeah. So that's a lot of people. They get, again, intimidated by that. It's got shims in it and torque specs and all this kind of stuff. I know a guy that had a tube seal leak, and he literally would not change it because he said, I don't know what I'm doing. And I was like, just pull the carrier, Now, as Jeepers...
So JK
yep.
is the harder one. So like you were talking about earlier, the JL, on your carrier, the bearings are two different sizes. Correct. So you can't, like the shims are two different sizes, so you can't mess that up.
Yeah, I will give them credit. I don't mind that, actually. That's not a terrible design.
It's not terrible. But you know what? If they had put the thing is, it is terrible because if they had put the bigger bearing on the locker side, then I would have a place to grab underneath it.
This is true.
So I'm just saying,
pick your poison.
Put a little bit bigger, but you can do a different bearing size. Just go a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Don't short us.
No, yeah, you shortened me.
Yeah.
Short change me here.
I agree with that. And again, I do think that obviously gears are crucially important, but the reason that we're explaining this is because it is doable if you understand the process.
Yeah, but like the JK. It's the same size on both sides, and the problem is when you pull that carrier out, you've got shims, and you better make sure that those shims don't get mixed together, or you have to take them out because those shims matter and go on that side, and these shims matter and go on this side,
as well as the caps. So
yes,
a little bit, and we won't get lost in the weeds here.
Yeah, because we're already
So when
we're in the weeds.
Yeah. So when they build the housing, they machine the caps to fit a specific side of that particular housing, as well as the bolts and everything else. So I'm not saying that you couldn't theoretically change some of this stuff around, but as a rule of thumb, we've always been taught, if you've ever been in this world before, keep the caps in the same orientation, north to south,
same side,
east to west, and bolt locations. Like we'll mark them. We'll mark them with a paint pen, or we'll put center punch marks on them, or whatever. That's how important that is, because those bearings are literally what's keeping your drivetrain moving.
And like when you re-shim, or we put new gears in a vehicle, you have the factory shims, and the factory shims look a lot different.
Oh, God, Lord, yes. Because
when you re-shim for a re-gear, you might have a 10,000th shim, you might have a X, Y, and Z shim, right? You might have 3 or 4 shims that make up what you need. Well, the factory's just one thick chunk.
So you brought this up yesterday.
So I think they got a wall full of them.
Well, okay, if you know this, if you are in the world of gear making
from manufacturers,
from a manufacturer standpoint, from the shims,
like I'm talking about like Jeep manufacturing,
like Mopar. Like if you're in this world and you can answer this question, I'd be interested to know this, because he brought up a pretty valid point, and I didn't think about it until yesterday. But every single time that we have taken a rear end apart, and you've taken a gear out, especially if it's a factory setup, there's only one shim.
And it's just the size that they needed.
Yeah, so if it's 26 thousandths, or if it's 32 thousandths, or whatever
the number is.
Yeah, whatever that number is they needed for that particular side, it's only one shim. Like they make it specifically for that, and maybe that's what they do. I don't know if that's needed or not. But
they probably do have some type of range. Like they probably don't have the entire wall is full.
Yeah, 1 to
but
1 million.
They know. So there's tolerances to everything.
Agreed. Yep.
And so when they're machining that housing, and they know that machine can do within so much tolerance.
Yep.
You know this world.
Yep.
Being from the fabrication world and milling and stuff like that.
Yep.
So you know your tolerances are within this spec. Same with our CNC machine.
Exactly.
So you have tolerances. And so they probably know that, hey, I'm making this number up just so math is easy.
Randomly.
Yeah. So, hey, our tolerances are anywhere, this might be a big number, but 10 to 50 thousandths, right? That's a huge number.
That's a big range, yeah.
Big range, but for math purposes, so that everybody can understand.
Yeah.
That's a big range. But they might have shims because they know, hey, between both sides is anywhere from 10 to 50.
Right.
Like both. So
collectively.
Collectively. So they know that, okay, I might have to have a 25 here and a 25 here, or I might have to have a 10 here and a 40 here. But there's that range, and those numbers will be adjusted because of the tolerances of the machine.
Yeah, and we could do a whole podcast dedicated to rear end and front end setups, but I think you're right, and I'm curious as to if that is the case. That's a pretty cool idea, because when you get a master install kit, if you've ever done this before, if you've ever seen anybody do it, they send you shims like he's talking about, and there'll be a pack of them, and they'll, like he said, range from paper thin to actually pretty big, and we've always had to like make the math work. That's a big numbers thing for them.
Yeah. you better be good with a calculator. Or
Yeah.
good with some numbers in your head.
I don't know if you guys can see it in the camera shot, but there's a whiteboard off to our left, and so when we set up gears, that whiteboard goes out in the shop, and we literally
use it as a table, and then we write numbers.
Yeah. So he'll measure all the shims, and we'll literally categorize them, and then we sit there and do the math on the whiteboard. That's how critical it is, obviously.
Yeah, because you might put it in there, and your backlash for JKJLs is 8 to 10 thousandths. By the way,
Yes, right.
which is very small. So you're checking that, and then if you get in with that within that range, you are checking your paint pattern to see if the gears are meshing or not, and then you're having to adjust off of that. And so, like last night, we needed to adjust. We adjusted, I think, 10 thousandths.
We never got over 20. We had a 10 to 20
it was
range.
like somewhere in there, and we kind of had to make it work. But you're using that, and it's the math and just the minute to make sure that gear pattern works.
Yeah. So, sorry, I'm drinking a lot of water. One of the comments last time is that I was clearing my throat a whole bunch of the podcast. So I'm trying to do that today.
I was probably saying and everything else 100 times too, but whatever.
So the other thing that about the once you get everything done, you have to undo everything.
Oh, absolutely. Because we have what we call setup bearings. So I'm not pressing on or pressing stuff into the housing, because you don't want to press the races in and out of the housing 100 times to get your setup.
Yeah, especially for the new ones, you'll wear them out.
Yeah, you're going to wear out the housing, and then it won't work.
Yeah, then you got a bigger problem.
Yeah. So we have what we call setup bearings. I didn't buy setup bearings. You know you can buy them?
Yeah, so I actually saw there's a YouTuber that I watched, Dirt Lifestyle, and he's a big Jeeper, and he bought that master install kit, and it comes with all your setup bearings for like 30s, 35s, all the way up to 60s.
Yeah, so the problem with that is, which we would have found out last night.
Are you talking about so I wanted to get into this. This was going to be my second point. After
and
this.
Sorry, like we have really dove deep into the gear thing, but it's a cool topic because it's not talked about a lot.
It's not, and I think
there's a lot of people out there that want to know about it.
And I also think that people who talk about it sometimes skip over because they know it. They don't explain
that, and they think it's some massive trade secret.
Yeah, I don't know that I agree with that sentiment, but I know
what I mean. Like they don't.
No, I agree with what you're saying
because
they
make money from it.
Yeah, and I just don't feel like it's that big of a secret. I think it is intimidating. So,
but I don't encourage somebody to go do it tomorrow in their driveway.
Yeah, don't do that. Do not do that.
Yeah,
don't do that.
Don't do that.
Please don't do that. If you want your Jeep to drive, please
don't do that.
I mean, if you have a project Jeep and you want to dive off into it,
go for it.
That's your Jeep. We'll help you. Give us a call when you can't figure it out.
Yeah.
So what he's alluding to about this particular Jeep, and I kind of want him to explain this because there is a huge difference in the pinion bearing style in a JL versus a JK.
Only on the rear.
Yeah, specifically only on the rear. And also, even last night, now we knew this going into this JL, that this style was different than a JK. But we found something last night that I don't know has been addressed by too many people, because actually last night after I went home from the shop, I kind of got on the interwebs and started diving around, and it was very, very difficult for me to find any information about what we experienced last night. So I kind of want you to talk about that specific. What's the difference between the JK, the JL pinion bearing specifically? Let's hit that.
So let me hit this first one first. Is a huge shout out to my buddy Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
At Amarillo Axle. Huge shout out. And I've been trying to get on the phone with him for a couple weeks now, and our schedules just did not line up.
Yeah.
Whether I was in class for the fire department or work, whatever the case may be. But we finally got on the phone. I wish I had called him about a week
3 hours earlier.
Yeah, exactly. So on the rear end of a JL, you have a double ball roller bearing setup
that is wild to me to think that,
and it's got a plastic cage on it.
That's exactly what I was going to get into. Yes,
that breaks.
Yes,
because don't ask me how I know.
That's our next T-shirt, by the way. I'm going to get a T-shirt made that says "Ask me how I know."
Because I will do something on a Jeep or do it a certain way And you've been in fabrication, and you've been in the like your dad's been a mechanic. What for? Like,
oh man, longer than I've been alive.
Yeah. So you've been around this world.
Yeah.
And he'll
just not Jeep specific.
Yeah, and he'll be like, "Why are you doing it that way?"
Yeah. What are you doing?
And then I'll say,
"Ask me how I know."
Yeah, because I've done it. Like, like it's not for me to. It's not me like trying to show you. It's literally, I have been in that situation where I was like, "Oh,
well, crap, that's wrong."
Yeah, that's wrong. So that's why. But so it's if I remember, I'll try to throw a picture of it.
Yeah,
because I've got a few in the shop. Ask me how.
Yeah, right.
Ask me why I have them.
There it is.
But it's a double ball roller bearing, and so you have. It looks like it's a plastic cage. The problem is if you drop it by accident, the plastic cage breaks in half, or the balls just shoot out like you open
a pinball machine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they go everywhere.
It's horrible. But on this setup, they are slowly. It's a newer, but they're getting rid of it.
Yeah,
they're saying, hey, let's not use this setup. It's not good. Constant problems out of it. This, that, and the other.
I'm curious as to what Jeep thought when they put that in there, as to why they would have thought. That's actually a very good comment. Pin that comment.
So hear me out. And if you work for Mopar or any other manufacturer, please stop making my brain hurt. I understand y'all live, and we'll get back into this rear end, I promise you. But this is something that I hope that every one of y'all will go, like, just edit this section and just make it go viral.
Yeah, blow it up.
Please, because it would save a lot of people some headache.
Yeah, including us.
And it's not necessarily saving people money. It's just headache.
Headache, yeah.
If you are going into the engineering world and you are creating these vehicles, and Jeep, for say, or whatever the manufacturer is, and it's going to do a certain thing, please go get in the shop and actually work on something. Like, just go to a mechanic shop and watch them replace a part. Like, get away from the cubicle and your computer or your office or whatever you're behind, whatever engineering software you're using to build it, to understand why it works, how it works, know the why.
Yeah.
Because it's very frustrating when you're like, as a mechanic that is making a % of what you're making.
Yeah.
Understand it better than the guy that's making $1 million a year.
Yeah,
to do
so
it,
you got it's just like engine work, and I use that because that's what my dad did. But when you put stuff on an engine and it's on an engine stand, well, of course it's easy to get to.
Yeah.
Right? Or if you're the first one there to put the bolt in, well, you don't have to worry about getting around or getting it out of something else. And that was always his biggest gripe. Same exact thing. Why would you engineer this and design this when you know it's a maintenance part?
Yeah.
It's gonna wear out and you're gonna have to replace it.
Right.
Why would you design it to where you have to take half the Jeep apart to get one bolt out or one bearing apart? Or why would you design it to where we know it's gonna fail, but why would it fail prematurely other than to try to make you spend money?
I understand all these manufacturers are having to live around, government regulations and cost, and things cost this, that, and the other. But at the same time, just make it work. Like, I'm not saying that it has to be cheap. It has to be made more expensively.
Right.
It's just the design of how it's made.
Yeah, make it a little simpler or a little less complex. I mean, a lot of the cars now, like I use sedans or whatever. I'm going to get out of the Jeep world for a second. But a lot of the cars now have removable K-members where you literally have to put the car on the lift and drop the engine out the bottom to be able to do things to work on the engine. I had a Nissan Titan that you had to take the intake off to get to the starter that was under the intake on top of the engine. Why would you put a starter under an intake?
Or on a 2012 and up JK, you have to take off half, like the top part of all the, is it the intake and all that to change out the serpentine belt?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to get a lot versus the early Model 3.8s.
There's nothing there.
Where's a ratchet and just pop it off,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. So you got the air inlet.
Yeah.
And all that.
Yeah.
So then it's the same thing with the valve covers on the 3.6s. You have to take the upper intake off to be able to get the valve cover off. I mean, is there a way around it? Maybe, but like to make it where you can efficiently do it, yeah, you have to do all these extra steps that I don't feel like you should have to do, you know?
Yeah.
So back to the rear end, because I 100% agree with you. And if you are an engineer and you did design something like that, shame on you. I'm sorry. Do better. But so now we've got the plastic roller bearing that we're trying to go away from.
Right. And that's fine. They put a new bearing in there, and so they basically get that size bearing that fits in that same taper and everything like that. But it's not so you put a new race in and everything, but the same size housing diameter for the pinion, and then you put a shim behind it. I have no problem with that. The other problem was the inner pinion bearing.
Here's where we got into a problem.
Yeah. So in the gear world, you have your two main manufacturers of Timken and Koyo. Well, the JL world, when the JLs came out, good luck. Get it. If you have there's a part number on all of them on the back side.
Yep.
You can't take that to O'Reilly's in advance and get one.
And that was shocking to me.
Like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Nothing comes up.
Yeah.
Like, you either have to go to Mopar and like reference the number, because I've typed it in before, and maybe it has changed in the last month or so, because I literally went like a few months ago because we had another problem, and you can't get it. They were like, oh, well, we have to order you a master install kit, and I was like, well, I can get that. I wanted just the bearing.
Well, I think last night when this problem arose, Joe was having the similar issue.
And he had to wait like a week. So what happened was we've been having Koyo bearings. Well, they ran out basically. And so they put in a Timken, which Timken is supposed to be the better the brands. I don't know.
Higher quality.
Yeah.
Maybe that's that ABC we were talking about earlier,
ABC,
maybe?
Yeah, maybe. And so, but they give you a Timken bearing. The problem is the offset on the back side of the bearing is a lot different.
Big time. Like visually, you can see it.
And usually they're the same. Like they're, you don't have much difference. The problem is in this situation is we have setup bearings and they were Koyo, but they've always been kind of Koyo because you'll order a Timken master install kit and Koyo bearings will come in it because they didn't have any Timken at the time. Seen it happen 100 times. But the offset was bad, and if you don't know or to think about it, because there could be 3 Koyo bearings in that master install kit and 1 be Timken, and if you don't look at every single one, it's gonna be off. And so literally the bearings look the same.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you couldn't tell any difference.
You couldn't tell any difference besides one said Timken, one said Koyo, but in just us, I will say this was on my Jeep, so let's...
Yeah.
On my Jeep. We won't say what Jeep, but it was on my Jeep. And the difference. So I gave a little bit of a sneak peek there.
Yeah, a little teaser.
A little teaser.
So we get the rear end set up. I could tell by the look on his face last night that something wasn't sitting well because he started with the factory. You have to have a baseline and all this.
Yeah, you set up with the factory setup.
So you pull the factory shims, you put those back in first. That gives you some sort of routine because, again,
you've got to start somewhere.
Yeah, the steps and processes of all this, ultimately you have to do all this measuring and all the pattern running and all that. So you start with something that was already in the Jeep.
So going back to the thing, the bearing was wrong or different style. I'm talking about it wasn't a major thickness difference.
Yeah,
I mean it was
it was enough to cause an issue that when he knew that we had to move the carrier over, which obviously after we used
so we moved it over, and my buddy did the same exact thing, and he sets up gears. If I set up one, he set up 10. Yep. Like he's just been doing it longer, and I would say for every one suspension I do, he does like 5. Like he doesn't do a lot of, I would say, like big lift kit jobs. He does gears. Like he's just a gear guy. Like that's his thing. Which is we're kind of like an all in one.
He's a little more focused.
But he said, I called him. I said, hey, I'm having trouble. Like I sent him the pattern, and it looks like you've literally drawn a line. Like there was no pattern.
So pattern,
more of a line.
Let's explain pattern for those of you who don't know. You'll take the teeth on the ring gear and you'll paint the yellow marker on it. If you've seen it on YouTube and you didn't know what it was, that's running a pattern. So you shim the carrier over, you get it kind of where you want it to go.
Check backlash, all that.
So backlash is the big thing. That's the first thing that you want to look at. So we got it in tolerance. Like he said, the JKs are a little bit different than the JLs. JLs are like 6 to 10, maybe.
It's all 6 to 10. It's hard to explain.
Okay. Well, let's not get lost in the weeds on that. Yeah. So we get the carrier shimmed, and now we've checked backlash. We're in tolerance. So now we run the pattern. When we ran the pattern, I immediately knew that something was wrong because of the look on his face. And so we chased it a few times, and then he called Joe and was like, "Hey, man, this is what I'm getting. What do you think?" And Joe immediately called.
Yeah, so he said, how many thousandths did you have to move over the carrier?
Yeah.
And I said, 40 to 50.
40 to 50.
He asked me, was it about 40 or 50 thousandths? And I was like,
yeah.
I was like, why'd you ask? He was like, you got the wrong pinion bearing in there. And I was like, no, I don't. Like,
it came with the kit.
It came with the kit. Like,
literally.
what are you talking about? Like, there's no difference. He was like, what setup?
What brand?
Yeah, what brand setup rates are you using? I said, Koyo. He's like, and I said, it's a Koyo bearing. Like, because I had looked at the Koyo bearing that was for the other one, and it was Koyo. I didn't like, so when you've got your master install kits, and so like I didn't like match it, which I will from now on. I promise you, I'll look at it. But I pulled it off, and it's a Timken bearing. Luckily, I had a spare master install kit that we kind of had to steal from a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I had an extra Koyo bearing because they did not work.
No, it did not.
Like, it was way off. And the thing is, we put that Koyo bearing on the pinion. Like, we had been struggling with this thing for
a couple hours.
Yeah, like sometimes you just have to go through the process of elimination. And I don't have enough, I guess, pride to where I don't mind phoning a friend.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like,
no,
whatever. Like, sometimes you're just stumped and you just can't get past that point.
Need some help.
Yeah. And he said it, and I was like, that's it. And so literally within, I would say,
it was minutes.
Oh, I literally had we had the pinion out. I'd say I called him back within 15 minutes, and I said, hey, check this pattern. He was like, brother, that looks
way better.
He said, brother, run that. And I said, I know, I'm aware. I said, it looks drastically different. I say it 15 minutes.
Yeah, it was 15 minutes. I mean,
I had it done. Like, I mean, we're ready to reinstall it.
Yep. And which is the next step. So, yeah, that's why gears, I think, are so intimidating. There's so many variables. There's so many little bitty nuances that people just don't know, and accompanied with difficulty in the math process of the shimming. So that was one thing.
You can look at some charts and it won't even say JL on it. It'll just say Dana 44 still. It won't even have the M220 on it.
Yeah, which I think we alluded to last time because of all the goofiness that the JL world. I don't understand. Jeep, y'all have to. You got to get away from that. We need a Dana. Bring the Danas back.
bring just the easy numbers back.
Yeah, the stuff we understand.
Yeah.
So that was really a learning curve last night. Was knowing
the process is the same.
Yeah,
it's just different.
Yeah, it was a big step. So if you guys want an in-depth or maybe a how-to on the YouTube channel,
we've gone pretty in the weeds in it, more so than what I thought we would for the show. But hey, it might be interesting because it's not talked a lot about on. Besides, if you go to a channel that's like, hey, we're doing an install on like tons, or I want to do my own tons at my shop or whatever, you know.
Yeah. And I would tell you that if
they tell you how to do it, they don't really explain the why or the little nuances.
Yeah, and I think that's I don't know if it's a trade secret or if they just don't want to put that out there, or if they feel like it's too in depth for people to grasp. But if you've never seen it done and you wonder why a shop charges so much to do gears, take the hour it takes to go to YouTube and try to find somebody that definitively, step by step, goes through every single thing that it takes to set up a set of gears,
and then multiply that time that you watched it by a lot, because they've edited it.
Oh yeah,
they shortened it up a lot. Yeah, exactly. So you would actually watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, otherwise you'd get bored about halfway through.
And the thing is,
touching that.
They might have been in the middle of that process and came into a problem like we did last night and never showed you.
Yeah. Yeah, because
and then they're 3 hours down the tube.
Yep. And we're going to wash
Whatever,
that away.
whatever. I think we were less than that, but still.
Yeah, it was a big deal. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's squared away, and now we know what to look for. So,
yeah, because I literally saw Koyo on that bearing. Because I was like, no, it's Koyo. Because every other bearing in the pack is Koyo. That one was Timken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I was like,
and you wouldn't think it would make that much difference, but that's the difference in manufacturers.
Like I even compared them but I didn't look at the bottom. I was like, oh yeah, that's the same thing. No, it wasn't.
Apparently not.
Like I'm talking a lot off because my buddy did the exact same thing because he said, buddy, I've been opening these packs. He does like probably 2 or 3 a week.
Yeah,
like it's insane how many times I get messages from him because he'll be like, hey, does this pattern? He'll even bounce it off me, and I'm not like I would say I'm decent at it, but like he is a lot better at because he does it all the time, and he'll bounce like, how does that look? And then he'll tell me his backlash of that. And I'm like, well, hey, Pinion could do this, whatever, in and out. And it's just crazy.
And I think that's normal.
Did it. And that's the fact is that he did it. But the other thing is that we really haven't talked about is you could check your backlash. It's within spec, right? Mm-hmm. You can then paint it.
Mm-hmm. Run the pattern.
And it all has, like, your shims, like it's tight, everything's good, but now the pinion needs to be, it's too shallow or it's too deep. Mm-hmm. And so now you have to take all that apart. Let's say the shim is too deep. So you take the shim that is behind, that's why we run setup bearings. Mm-hmm. You change out that shim, it's too deep, so you go a little smaller, right? Whatever, 10,000, 20, whatever it needs. You put the carrier back in there with the shims that you had, and now your backlash is way off. So now you have to readjust
everything you just did.
The side to side.
Yep.
You have to do your numbers completely over again to adjust for that backlash.
Yes.
And then run another pattern to see if
that one matches or is good.
If your pinion is now
too shallow, too deep.
Again.
Yeah, all over again. All right, now, so we've addressed the whole monster that is gears.
Yeah.
Touch
for
base.
An hour.
Yeah, for an hour, which is fine.
It's fine.
We won't spend much longer, but talk about, let's do the why now. Why do you re-gear your Jeep?
Yeah, because now we've talked about all the difficulties.
Yep.
And
issues
not to scare you away from it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't trust yourself, let a shop do it.
Yep.
Absolutely. The why. Take, for example, like the JLs or whatever. You put 3740s on it. Mm-hmm. It's got 8 gears in the transmission. You might get to 6th or 7th going downhill.
Yeah, right.
And so it's just more strain on the motor, which is going to put more heat in the motor because it's having to run a higher RPM. It's just you want more longevity in your Jeep. Mm-hmm. And so versatility.
Yeah.
Off-road, you're really not going to see much of a difference because when you go into 4-low transfer case, it reduces it. You'll see a little bit of gain, especially when you go to jump that gear size, especially if you're going to like 373s, which is like a factory JK gear set to
513s.
Say what?
513s.
Yeah, 513s or even 488s. I mean, that's a whole number jump.
Yeah, so I did. That's exactly what I did. 373s to now mine's in 488s.
Yeah.
And it's a big difference.
And why I say factory JK setup is because I like the JKs better than the JLs just because of some electrical issues. We'll just leave it at that. Mm-hmm. But I'll drive any Jeep.
Oh, yeah.
Jeep Wrangler or whatever.
Yeah,
but
preface.
That's why if you see me wheeling off-road,
it's a JK.
99% of the time, it's going to be a JK. Mm-hmm. That's personally. That's just a personal preference.
So, do you think? And we haven't talked about this off camera, and I think it may be something that we can get into next time if you want to. But I think the big question for everybody is: okay, now I've bought my Jeep, stock.
Yep.
Okay, I got my factory 32s on here, highway tires.
Let's go.
Right now, I know I want to lift, and I know I want bigger tires, and I'm going to rip the fenders off. I'm going to do a fender delete, and I want 37s. Mm-hmm. What gears do I run? I'm in a JK. Right? Mm-hmm. Same thing. Now I'm running 35s in a JL. Or I want to run...
It can be different.
Exactly. So...
Because it all matters. And you say JK, right? Mm-hmm. So here's the other kicker, and it kind of goes back to your first question of why we do it. Mm-hmm. It's less wear and tear, motor transmission.
Mm-hmm. More advantageous.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. On-road performability is
huge.
Greatly. Like I said, off-road, you'll notice it, but you're not going to notice it like you do on-road.
That's right.
Just because of all the gear reduction, transfer case, all that.
Yep.
But you will see a difference. And you could go down the rabbit hole of what makes it better, right?
Yeah.
You just But you said JK
37s.
Okay. You got two different motors.
That's right. Yeah.
So you have a 3.8 in the early models, you got 3.6 in the older models, and then you go to the JLs. Now you've got a 3.6, you got a 2.0 turbo, and then you got the
diesel.
You got the diesel.
Mm-hmm. And you have an 8-speed transmission versus a 5.
I'm going to throw this one for a loop for you, but it doesn't change anything. So just to let you know, the 4xe.
Oh,
or the 4xe, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, 4xe.
I like to call it 4xe, whatever.
Yeah.
Just because, I don't know, the X just always means 4x4.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah,
my dumb butt just goes with that.
No, that's fine. That's
4xe. But yeah, it doesn't change anything because of how that whole system. There's still a 3.6 in there.
Yeah.
So you have to go off of the motor that's in it.
I don't know if this is true or not because I've actually not looked at the sheets and the data, but I was told that the 4XEs actually produce more torque than the 392s.
It does.
That's crazy.
So I'll tell you this. I've got a buddy that has a 4xe. Y'all have seen it on the channel. Mm-hmm. Name's Colton. If he's just going down a trail, like easy trail, whatever, nothing. Like he'll put it in the electric mode. It's quiet.
Crazy.
Yeah, he'll just, because you can just swap.
Mm-hmm.
He'll do that, whatever. Rock crawling, won't do it.
Really?
Yeah, he'll put it in the motor mode every day.
Really?
2 torquey.
Oh, 2 torquey.
Like you can't.
It's almost instant power.
Like you can't
baby it.
You can't fine tune it because it's either it's like electrical. You turn the switch on or off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So my son and daughter-in-law have an all electric. We went to San Diego
and it's
last week.
on and off.
Yeah. So when we were driving it, if you leave a red light and mash the gas, you're going. Like, with the gas, you can let your foot off the brake and it just gently kind of starts going.
Might get some controversy here.
Okay.
This is
we go.
crazy, guys.
Yeah.
Like I said, blue light special.
Yeah,
crazy.
Here we go. Yep.
I have ridden in a Tesla. I haven't ridden in one. Brother, that will put you back in your seat.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm surprised how much power. Now, I'm not the guy that you want to talk to about
electric
vehicles.
Yeah,
I promise you.
No.
I'm rolling coal. Right?
Yeah, every time.
Like in my diesel truck, that's just me.
Yeah, me too.
But if you want to talk about the power,
power and instant torque,
and just the cool factor of being able to hit the gas pedal and just brother, I thought I was gonna have to have another neck block done.
Yeah, they're incredible.
I'm telling, I had a brace.
Yeah,
for impact.
Yeah. So, how do you know
which one to go with?
What gears to go with?
So there's a lot of charts out there. I go off of the chart. The chart is a good starting
ballpark.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's going to tell you kind of where you need to be. But then, I think on the outskirts of that chart, like when you start navigating 40s and on stock axles.
Do you feel like where you live has anything to do with it too? Like, say you're in Texas, flat ground.
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. The biggest thing is knowing your carrier, knowing what axle you have in it, versus take my 1 tons. So my 60 Ford F-250 axles, basically, for people who don't know what 1 tons is. It's a Dana 60. I've got a Sterling rear end, which is basically just 1 ton Ford F-250 axles. You can put a 14 bolt from a Chevrolet, but we won't get off in the weeds.
Controversial talk.
Yeah. Yeah. And we can. That's a whole nother axle
setup.
We probably could have a whole podcast series.
Oh yeah.
On different axles you could put in vehicles.
Absolutely.
Or just between the Sterling and 14 bolt.
Oh, that's a big topic among Jeep people. Like you have some that a shaved 14 bolt is
It's
the
the
only thing.
ticket.
That's the only way they'll run it. And then you have guys out there that are diehard Ford guys that will only run a Sterling. I don't care if you gave them a 14 bolt, they'll throw it in the river. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's
and I have my opinions on it. I have more practical opinions.
I like the Sterling, and I think mine's a little more practical too. When I buy a set of wheels, it bolts right on.
Yeah. So I'll give you a quick thing, and we'll get right back into the whole JK what gears. For those setups, I'm running a factory motor, 3.8. Mm-hmm. Okay. I am also not Bajaing through the desert. I don't have high horsepower. Mm-hmm. So there's not a lot of torque and movement happening, right? 14 bolt has an extra pinion bearing. So it runs 3. Mm-hmm. So you don't have deflection. That's why they run them in these, buggies, rock crawler, bouncers.
High horsepower equals shock load.
Yeah,
is what that equates
exactly.
To.
And so they're trying to make sure there's no deflection. There,
shattering it.
Yeah. And so, I see it.
Mm-hmm. Makes perfect sense.
My 3 ain't going to do that.
No.
The problem with the 14 bolt is it is a massive boat anchor.
Yeah, it sticks way down, which is a reason that
they shave it.
Shaved
and even though you shave it,
it's still big.
It's still massive. Mm-hmm. And there's some other nuances, and we could get into that in a whole other podcast, but that's just like the short snippet of why I have a Sterling in mind, and the ease of going to the store and just getting what you need.
Yeah.
But going back to the chart, and going back to and why we kind of dove off into the 1 tons, and you can get crate axle. So there's that whole mess. We could talk about that. That's a whole nother realm.
Another episode.
Yeah. Is you get to a point where, like, because the 37s is the
new 33s.
Yeah, like I remember when 35s and 37s was big.
Yeah, that was a big tire.
Yeah, like that's what like if you run 37s, like you were it. Yeah, look at you.
Yeah.
But now if you ain't running 40s, like what is that?
You got what? You got stocks?
Yeah, like it's weird how that progression. And now it's like a 42 is now the old 40.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Like or a 43.
43s.
I'm like, brother, where does it stop?
Yeah, literally. I mean, at some point you got to say that's enough.
Yeah, like brother, we're putting these Jeeps way up there.
Yeah.
But going back to the chart is for a Dana 44 axle, the housing is only so big. Mm-hmm. The taller the number, so the bigger the number, the smaller the pinion gets. Mm-hmm. When that happens, it's not as strong.
Exactly.
So for example, when I was running my 44s on 37s, I was running 488s. Mm-hmm. People would have told me I wanted to run 513s. Mm-hmm. My Jeep was more of an off-road only rig. Mm-hmm. There is not a massive difference, I would say, in performance. That's only a step between 488s and 513s. That's only a step because you can't get anything between that. Mm-hmm. I wanted to run the 488 because the pinion was bigger and it would be stronger for off-road purposes, so I wouldn't break. So now, do I know that percentage breakdown of how stronger? Yeah. I don't know, but I just know it. There's got to be something.
I would like to post in the comments if you want to see some of this. Like maybe we do a tabletop, like explaining some of these parts to people so that they understand. The pinion is directly driven by the shaft that turns the ring gear. So the tooth engagement and the depth of that, how big that is, and how many teeth are engaged at any given time is directly correlated to what that number is. So 4 revolutions for, all of that.
You get 4.8
turns to get one turn of the ring gear. So that's where the math equates to. So when you get into that as to whys, that has always been a very, very valid point by most off-roaders is I want the tallest gear I can get for performance, but I also want the biggest pinion I can get because I have the most tooth engagement. So that's the fine line. So
everybody goes online and they're like, oh yeah, I'm running 37s on my JK and I'm going to run 538s or they're running 40s on their JK and I want to run 538s.
Okay. That's your money.
So we have a JL 538 actually.
Actually a 538, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we need to do this. I'll post about it. But I know it's basically a M220, which is a 44.
That's right.
So same thing basically, but I have in a box out there a Dana 60 538, and I'm gonna show you the pinion size difference.
I think that's what I need. We need to do a toolbox tabletop, and we need to lay these out. And even if it's just pictures,
is massive.
Oh, it's huge.
And so when you put a 538, I mean, I'm putting a 538 in this set of axles here. My plan is not to really off-road it. It is more for drivability because this Jeep is going to be 98%
on
road. I'm going to take it off-road a little bit, but I'm not doing anything hardcore. Not like my Jeep, my four-door. But that's when you have to start being realistic about this number. And I used to be against like 513s. Like if you're going to wheel and it is a dedicated off-road rig and you're on a JK 3.8, because I know more about the 3.8s than I know about the 3.6s, just because I like the 3.8 better. Personal opinion. I'd rather run the 488 because it's stronger.
Yeah, so I'm the same thing. I've got a 3.6 in mine, and had a chance to go to 513s, and same exact reason was the 488 had more tooth engagement, it was bigger.
Yeah, and it all comes down to because of the carrier, and because of you are going to a bigger number, but what you're putting it in is the exact same. So they're having to offset somewhere, and you're just not getting, the reliability there.
Yeah.
So it's a big difference. And so it really depends on, and it's the same with lift kits.
What are you doing with it?
What are you doing with it? How much are you off-roading it? How much are you going down the interstate, back roads, hills? Do you live in Texas where it's flat? Or do you live in Alabama where there's a hill everywhere?
Yeah, or Colorado where you're going up mountains.
Yeah, exactly. And so like that's going to play a little bit of in it. Is that number going to change drastically? No. But I might tell you to do a 513 versus a 488.
Yeah.
Or in the JR world, I might tell you to go to a 530 or a 538 versus 513. Or 513 versus 488. Like there's a chart. But then is someone going to sit down and explain to you why? Because I would say a lot of shops are just going to look at the chart
or what they have experience with.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, hey, I run 37s and 48s. You should run 48s.
It works for me, but is that what you need? And that's what another reason why I created this whole, going back to the last episode, was I want to build your Jeep for your scenario.
For you.
Yeah, for you. Not for me, not for the guy down the street.
Your next door neighbor.
Yeah. It's for you and what you do with it.
Yeah.
Because everybody's different.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, there's the mall crawlers. Again, I said it in the last episode. I don't have a problem with those. That's your Jeep. You do what you want to with it.
Yeah.
Those could run a higher number. Now.
Yeah, and get away with it because it's going down the road. Like, if you're going down the road and never touch dirt at all, run the tallest one you can, run the biggest one you can get.
So the taller the number, the higher the RPM range. So, like, used to in your JK and a 3.6, you're going to run 70 and you're going to be at 15 to 1600 RPM. My 488s, I'm like 24, 2500 RPM.
Yeah, I'm probably the same.
Yeah. So it
but it's still running better.
The reason that you're doing that is not for the RPM change. It's helping the Jeep move the mass of tire.
Correct.
Because you have to understand that you went to not only just a bigger tire.
Heavier.
It's heavier. Your rolling mass is drastically increased.
And when you put B-locks on it.
Oh, man.
You are adding so much weight.
It's weight. And you have to be able to turn those.
Yeah, and a lot of people that are not working on their Jeeps are never pulling an axle shaft out. Look at the next time you pull an axle shaft out of it. Compare that to like a Dana 60 or Dana, or a Sterling or whatever, and the mass and the tooth count on that versus.
Well, let's put it into perspective here. Let's think about it. So, Dana 60s comes out of F250, which is what he has under his truck that is in the yard currently right now, right? That is driven typically by a diesel high torque engine or a very, very large V8 engine.
That can haul a crap ton of weight.
Right. It is just the axle size is dictated for hauling, and then the engine is to match that.
Yeah.
So the offset to that is when you take those axles and you put them in a Jeep, you have to be able to some sort of way compete with that, moving that mass, because those axles are 10 times heavier.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're massive. Just the tube size.
We have one on the table.
It is massive compared to a 44.
It makes it look like a stepchild. Yeah, it's crazy.
Baby. So if you're going to keep the same engine and you're not doing an LS swap or a Hemi swap, then you have to accommodate that with gearing, right? That's how you move that mass. Well, all those numbers, and like he just
said. So your transmission matters, your transfer case matters, and the gear ratio matters on how all that works. It's not me.
Plus tire size.
Yeah, it's not me just saying, oh, here's a chart, X, here's the Y axis. Okay, we're going to land here on this number.
And this is what we're using every time. Yeah, no,
yeah.
it doesn't.
Now, does it work a lot of the time? Yes, but there is a small circle where it can change.
Yeah, so I would tell you that, and it's just like anything else. You get the universal term, right? So, yeah, the universal term will get you in the ballpark, but for your specific application, it's specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody's is different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're...
Now, I will say this. When you go into your realm of Jeepers that you hang out with, it will probably be all the same.
That's correct.
But you got to know that we might do a mall crawler one day, and then we might do a full-on rock crawler. So
custom buggy or something.
So we have one right now that is sitting outside at a full LS 6.6
LSX
Corvette motor in it that is full off-roader. Like they want it to beat on to go to Moab, do whatever. And then a couple weeks ago, we have one that will never hit dirt.
Never. Like literally was the term out of the customer's mouth. This will never go off-road.
Never go off-road. I am not going to recommend the same things to both.
No, absolutely not. 100%.
Because there's no point.
No.
And why waste their money?
Exactly what I was going to say. Back to
I'm not here to waste your money. I'm here for you to buy the right thing the first time. And yeah, I'm going to have to make you pay for it, but you're going to pay for it once and not twice.
Yeah. Well, that goes into the whole episode 1, asking what you're doing with your Jeep.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes that changes.
And caring about your story enough to understand the why.
Yeah. And the person. Like,
yeah.
You know, most shops they only care about the money.
Yeah.
I mean, and I hate to say
I'm not trying to down shops at all.
No. Making money is everybody's goal. Like
but the Jeep world is it is such a weird niche market. Because like trucks, well, they're just going to lift it, right? Majority of the time, bigger tires, wheels, whatever the case may be. Yep. But Jeeps, there is so much. It's it's like a big Lego.
Oh yeah.
And you're adding so much stuff. But think about the Lego world, right? You've got Star Wars, you've got Harry Potter, you've got all the racing, the cars, the Technic ones where you're building a Bugatti or whatever.
Yeah, Ferrari.
Yeah, you got all these different ones, and for everybody. But think of Lego as a Jeep, right? Just replace it. You have all these different categories of what people like within Jeep, and so you just got to be. It's a different animal versus like the truck or car world.
Yeah, early on when you had the CJs and even into the TJ, there wasn't as much, I think, availability to customize
early on. For sure.
So now that market has grown.
Oh yeah.
Across the board, and it has gone back to the CJs and the TJs, but I think the JK was kind of the revolutionary flipping point.
Oh, absolutely.
For that to happen. So now what you're talking about being the Lego is exactly what you said. It has exploded, and everything that you could possibly think of. I mean, people are putting diesels in them. People are putting all different axles in them, Dodge axles, Ford axles, Chevrolet axles. So now the application that used to work for only that particular, it doesn't work. It's completely different now for everybody.
But a lot of shops are just trying to put in the easiest,
universal,
the fastest, what makes them money quicker, because ultimately for them, and I understand,
that's their business.
Like if I had a 9 to 8 to 5, whatever shop, Monday through Friday,
make money.
Because we're by the way, we are a by appointment only.
Yes.
Private.
Yep.
Type public shop. Yeah. Which don't scare that off. If
please call.
Yeah.
Come by,
call,
whatever.
Email me, whatever. Yeah. Like we will invite you to the shop.
100%.
But we want to dedicate our time to your thing and make it the best for you. And if you come here and we recommend X, Y, and Z, you don't like it, you don't have to use us. If you want to do something else, that's absolutely fine. But we want to sit down with you and your Jeep and understand what you want to do with it, figure out the why and what is best for you, not what's best for everybody else.
Yeah, case in point, to go back to the not scaring you off here, we're doing a gear job last night. One of them's on the rack, 8 o'clock at night, and we had a customer.
Burning the midnight oil a little bit.
Yeah, burning the candle on both ends. And we had a customer that they're trying to buy a Jeep for his wife, and they're a good ways away. They're over an hour away from us. And so they went and looked at a Jeep. They test drove it, and they wanted to bring it down here last night for us to look at and kind of go over with them.
Yeah.
So by all means, reach out, and we're more than happy to accommodate. But again, to every single specific Jeep for every single specific customer. Yeah, that's the why.
Yeah, because theirs is going to be completely different.
Yeah. So I think the husband has a Rubicon that he occasionally off-roads. So a little different setup, and the wife's is going to be more probably of a car show, mall crawler setup. Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah, and she even admitted, I want it to be buildable, which was something that you mentioned in the first episode. I want it to be buildable to potentially get to that. If I become comfortable in my Jeep and I want to go off-road, I want it to. Exactly.
So going back to like your gears, and I would even start at your gears, but the lift kit, right? Build a foundation you can build on.
Yes.
Don't buy something that the foundation is, you're already building on sand.
Yeah.
We want to build on concrete.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, we want to build on dirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
rock.
Yeah, like if I'm building a shed, I want to put some footers in, concrete in the foundation. I don't want to just dig a hole and put the post in and fill it back full of dirt and be like, hope it holds.
Oh, it will till it breaks.
Yeah, exactly. So I want a solid foundation, solid concrete, thick, reinforced, and that's the same way with the Jeep. And so when you put quality parts on there the first time, the suspension, then you're not having to 2 years down the road when you're wanting to do these light bars, or you're wanting to put this bumper on, or winch on.
Start off-roading.
Yeah, or start off-roading. You're not having to buy another lift kit because you already have it on there. Yes, you spent more for it up front versus that cheap one, but you have a solid foundation, so you can do the bumpers and everything else that you need to go do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. At that point, you've got the Jeep to a point to where suspension-wise and drivability-wise, it does everything that you want.
Yeah.
Now the accessories that you need to do what you want to do, that's the only thing that you have to worry about.
Yeah, that's it.
You don't have to wipe out the underneath and start over from scratch.
Yeah, every 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, or less than that in some
Yeah, because I've seen it happen.
Oh, yeah. Collapsed springs, shocks not holding up.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw this out there, and I don't mean to. You can edit this out if you need to.
Okay.
Correction brackets.
Yeah, horrible.
I'm not a fan.
No, and I'm not going to edit that out.
Yeah.
It's just do it the right way. Like, I mean, I know there's companies out there that, hey, you can put this bracket on, or you can do this to, per se, get you by because it's cheap and everybody's budget's different. And I know that, and I understand everybody wants to look cool.
Oh, for sure.
Right? They want their Jeep.
I want my Jeep to look cool. Heck yeah.
They want their Jeep in the parking lot to look good. I get that. But at what expense? All right, because the long-term expense of something messing up,
or wearing something that's crucial out.
Because the thing is, you put the drop brackets on, it might wear out the holes and elongate the holes because things shift. Because now you're putting two pieces there that shift. You could potentially cause yourself more harm for further down the road.
Yeah, and I think that is something that a lot of shops, including us, I don't think that you don't document it. And you don't want to point that out because you don't want to call somebody out and embarrass them. Maybe they just didn't know. But I think that if you actually went and talked to some companies, including ours, and you said, hey, what have you seen by doing this?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we had a situation where you had to...
we had some that had drop brackets on it. It also had cam bushings, or cam bolts in it. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
Please don't do that.
Yeah.
So they had that on it. Well, the problem is now it elongates that hole. So
what he's talking about, lower control arm on the front to put the cam bolt in, the round hole that the factory bolt goes through, you have to cut that into a rectangle so that the cam bolt is allowed to move freely and correct the geometry of the suspension setup. So you've removed that round hole. So now you not only have you put 2 points of contact that move, that are not a hard mount, you've also elongated this hole so that vibration and sharp impacts, shock loading, if you will, it could cause the suspension to shift and move around. So to correct that, now that you've cut a hole in it,
what we did was we made weld washers. So we got on the plasma, made our own weld washers for the specific size hole that we needed, and then we welded those in so that way we could put a whatever size
grade 8
bolt through it for it to work. And we had to do that not only all over the front axle, the rear axle had the same problem, and it was either do that or cut the whole bracket off and have to re-weld brackets on. And so you start to get into that, and at some point you're going to get to a bracket where I can't weld it. Like I'm going to have to just cut it off, and we're going to start over.
Yeah.
And then you're talking about lots of money here. But for us to weld on some simple washers wasn't that bad. But if I had to start cutting off full-on brackets, you're talking about a lot of fabrication.
Well, let's also talk about this. You have the hole from the factory, right? Well, then it's painted, right, so it doesn't corrode. Well, how many shops do you know or people in their driveway, when they cut that elongated hole, do they put rust inhibitors, primer, and paint?
Because it was rusted underneath.
Exactly. So you run the risk of that bracket deteriorating and something happening, and like you said, you have to cut the bracket off and replace it.
And I'm not saying that we're the only people that go the extra mile.
No.
By no means.
No.
But the thing is, I've got to the point where I just don't care. I get maybe that's it, or I just respect other people's stuff more.
I agree with that.
But going the extra mile and doing it right matters. So take, for example, there's two instances. So for welding, I had a buddy of mine that had some work done prior to him kind of knowing and us having the shop. I had some work done, a lot of fabrication. They did not paint under the truss.
Oh.
So basically they just took the truss and they cleaned up the truss a little bit and just welded it on. And then took spray paint after the fact and went on the outside. And just try to spray up inside of the truss. Well, that doesn't work. So for that example, we use, there's two different products. So it's Seymour, and then there's Steel It. Two different products that we use. And so we'll paint all of that. It's like it's
a weldable primer with
basically.
A paint in it.
Yeah, it's I'm not a chemist.
No, there is from the structural
like
market,
stainless in it. Or something?
It has
some type of.
It has metal fragmentations in it that allow you to be able to weld through it. It grounds it so that it doesn't burn the paint up. It's a chemical makeup. It's kind of a long chemistry process, but it's not your typical Krylon. Or,
now we try not to weld directly. Like we'll still clean that area
exactly,
but it doesn't burn up.
Yes, it doesn't dissipate. It doesn't go away like most of your normal paints that are MEK based or whatever. They don't catch on fire and remove themselves when you weld.
Yeah, so we'll paint underneath the truss, and what I mean by underneath, like the underneath side that could actually rust, the tube, all the brackets. We will paint that, and then we'll set the truss on it, and we'll take a either a paint pen or a marker, and we'll set it on there where we like it. We will mark everywhere where we're going to have to weld.
All its touch points.
And then we will, take a wire wheel or whatever and grind and take the paint off of that section. So we paint that one section, and then after it's
welded
and cooled off and all that, we will repaint it.
Yep.
And so that way, no rust.
No
because
corrosion.
like literally, he had rust coming out from underneath.
And you know how you stop that?
You can't.
Exactly. You cut the truss off and you do it the right way.
Yeah, or you somehow try to get paint under there. I mean,
that's tough.
I don't. Besides, like
maybe a Raptor liner that you can put air pressure to,
or like something that you can like put pressure to, or you like have to fully dip it, which is not really a feasible option.
Terrible. Yeah, that's terrible.
Because then you're going inside the actual
in the tube.
Yeah. So that, and then the other biggest thing that we take high priority on, and if another shop takes this from me, well, it will just help me when I fix it. Fix something else later. Is all lift kits. It doesn't matter if they're already put together. I wish they wouldn't.
Oh, I know where you're going with this. The Tin Man.
Yeah. So for us, I know this is like way against gears, but it's just building it right. And we talked a lot about this at the first episode, but we're kind of going more into the weeds of it. Is Rusty's. Take Rusty's, for example. They're just giving you the lift kit, right? And they have put a control arm together. They're not doing it wrong. No manufacturer is.
No. They're just
I'm not
assembling the pieces.
Yeah, they're just assembling the pieces. Don't think that when they assemble the pieces and put it in a box for them to ship out, they are assembling it the best and easiest way they can do it. So
100%.
you know what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah. Would you rather get that or pieces?
Yeah, pieces. Okay, so what we do, and like I said, it is not their fault because it is your responsibility as an installer.
There you go.
To do this.
I agree.
It is not the manufacturer's. So do not call them and say that they're doing it wrong.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that. Yeah,
I will not stand behind that.
No.
So what we do is we take all the control arm joints out. So we will back it all the way out. So and we don't even charge you for this.
You know.
And people wonder why does it say like I say we don't charge you, but that's why all this goes into one massive price, right? So, some shops will charge 8 to 12 hours for a lift kit, in that range. And you wonder why it's so expensive because you're like, oh, well, me and my buddies this weekend, whatever, put a lift kit on in 6 hours, 4 hours. Why is this shop charging me? Well, they might be doing a lot more. I know my shop is doing a lot more because we are probably spending every bit of that 8 to 10 hours plus some.
There's a lot of pre-assembly install and post-assembly setup that 99% of people in their driveway don't do.
Yeah. So we take all the control arms out, or joints out of the arm itself, make sure that they will making sure that there's no binding in them, and then we put anti-seize on everything.
Every single thread that we go into has
anti-seize, because I have had multiple control arms come in the shop from other whoever put it on, whatever, or they'll get them powder coated.
Oh yeah.
And this, that, and the other, and I have basically had to ruin their powder coat and torch them off.
Yep.
Because I'm having to burn up whatever's in there. Please do not put Loctite on your jam nuts and stuff. Please do not do that.
No, that jam nuts there for a reason.
Because if you powder coat those control arms, let's say you want fancy purple shimmer, and that control arm jam nut won't come undone. It's not going to be purpley and shimmery afterwards.
Well, it will be in the floor when we heat it up and turn it into liquid.
Yeah. Exactly. So just know that going into it, like that's why we go the extra mile. So let's say you bought a Rusty's kit, but you want to get it all powder coated again. Okay, we can do that. But I'm also going to put it together so if you go up in lift or a bushing or something messes up or whatever the case may be,
replace a joint.
I can replace it and not destroy what you've already paid for and done.
Yep. Agreed, 100%. Yeah,
like it drives me nuts.
I get it. There's a lot of little nuances that I think people in general, like you watch a YouTube video, like you were talking about, and you see them install it, and it's an hour-long video, and you're like, oh shit, I can install this in an hour, right? Well, if they've done it right, and they're not going to show you all the steps, like we don't show you all the steps,
right?
But there are steps out there that help preventative maintenance and future.
Oh, so bad. Yeah, there's so many things. Yeah. So many things. And it can go, it doesn't matter what part of the Jeep.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
It can be the gears. It could be the lift kit. It could be
routine maintenance parts.
The shocks.
Yeah, that's another one.
The shocks thing is a crazy one because talking about the boots, we won't go into that. Well, that's a whole nother suspension thing, but I just had a little inside joke.
Oh, yeah.
A little shots fired across the couch here.
Yeah, I got that one.
Yeah.
I caught it.
Yeah, I got that one. Hey, I do. Well, I can't cut these off. There's a reason behind that, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, so there's just so many things that go into that, and kind of going back to the gear thing, just the little nuances, and if you're not familiar with setting them up, you're going to miss that bearing thing, but you're not even going to know where to look. Yeah, or hey, it's doing this because like you said, you knew that I knew that it wasn't right, and I was tracking it down, and I kind of figured something, but I was, like I said, I don't mind asking. Because he had texted me or told me that something was off. And that's when I was like,
oh, there it is.
Yeah, the light bulb came on, and I was like, okay, I'm not even going to try to want to smash my head into this. I'm just going to call him and ask him.
What are you talking about?
And I'm glad I did, because I would have spent the next 3 hours trying to figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
And I called him, and we were done in 15 minutes.
Yeah, so that's what you're paying for when you pay a shop to sit at your gears. They're dealing with the headache. They're doing the math. If anything doesn't come out right, they're responsible for it.
Right.
So if it's like I said, if you have a project, if you have a spare axle or something that's laying around out of an old Jeep and you want to give it a shot, sure, give us a call, email us, whatever. We'll be more than happy to tell you this is kind of what to look at. But if this is your daily and you've never done this before, don't advise that.
No.
Yeah, don't.
And one more thing on that about calling us. Like, please email me. Scott's got his email. Adam's got his. I got an email. We've got some business cards on the way. That's a whole nother issue. Yeah. We don't want to talk about that.
No, we do not, actually.
Yeah. Get me fired up this morning.
Yeah.
So all of that to be said is we want to help you out. Even if you don't buy a part from us, I still want to help you out. You could be 3 states away. I don't care. I would hope that you would buy the part from me, and I'll just ship it to you. Hopefully I can save you some money. But that's our goal. Same with the Jeep that came up last night. If I'm not turning a bolt on it, I'm not going to charge you. That's just kind of like been my thing is I try to take care of the Jeep community because it is a close-knit. So if I'm not actually removing or like I would say using my tools.
Yeah, opening the toolbox.
Open the toolbox. I'm not going to charge you. If you have a question, you need to run by the shop. It takes 15 minutes for me to roll underneath it. Hey, what do you think about this? Please set that appointment up. Let us know.
Absolutely.
And we'll I'm not going to charge you.
Oh, no. It's kind of like the free gutters estimate thing that you
exactly.
If you need us to look at it, we'll look at it. It's not a problem.
Right. And a lot of shops will be like, oh, well, we want to put it on the rack and we're going to charge you $150 to literally get on the rack, and they could have done it in the parking lot in all of 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're like, well, if you do the work that we found that's wrong, we'll apply it to your bill.
Yeah, we'll give you a credit for it.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, well, what? Like, don't even worry about that then.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
They brought it to you for a reason. Yep. Take care of the customer.
Which again goes back to episode 1.
Yeah. Of why I started this company.
Yeah.
So, and we don't do that just with building Jeeps. If you see a video or a YouTube video or a post where we have been somewhere in the country, call me and ask me. Now, I will say, if you ask me to help you with a mapping thing like Onyx or whatever, and I don't get back to you, please email me again.
Yes.
Like, reach back out, because I get a lot of text messages a day. I get, whether it's from the fire department, work, or family, friends, or within the inner circle of this business, I get a ton of stuff, whether email, text messages.
Yep.
So I do feel bad. So if I have let you down in the past, I apologize. But you could have asked, hey, do you mind helping me? Let's take Stony Lonesome, for example. Mm-hmm. Help with a mapping situation or whatever. I'm not ignoring you, or it's not something that I didn't want to do. Mm-hmm. It is literally, I have
50,000 other things
that I've thought about, and that just is not something that just clicked.
Yeah, so I'm going to visit this really, really quickly. This is super brief, and
then we'll finish up.
Yeah, this may be next episode, but Waypoint used to do it a lot. We've talked about getting back into it, about guided rides, but we also offer recovery classes that you can do virtual, you can do hands-on, trail guiding classes that we've kind of just started. He's working on this, getting it to the website. This is stuff that you as an individual can do, your club can do it, your group can do it. The virtual would obviously have to be set up on a time basis so that he can do it.
So basically like a Zoom, Google Meet type thing.
Yeah. So
and that will be our classroom portion of the class. Yeah.
So we have 101, basic recovery. Then we're going to do a 102 and a 103. Don't exactly have those lined out, exactly what those look like yet. He's got some prices figured out. Like I said, club-based. Certain group sizes are this and that. So just kind of putting that out there.
It's coming. It's in the pipeline.
Yeah, it's definitely coming. Mapping and stuff like that. He's been to a lot of spots. We've been to a lot of off-road events, so we kind of know. So if you have something, hey, I want to take a group out to here, and we'll use Stony since you brought that up. And I've got a mixed bag of people. I've got a couple of stocks, and I've got a couple on 37s. What should we do? Or I've got a bunch of guys on 40s. Everybody's got lockers and winches. What should we do? Those are questions that we welcome. Like, please bring those.
Talk to us about it. And if I say, hey, I'm going to get you a map, and you're going like take, for example, today's Saturday. Let's say you're going next Saturday, right? You message me today, or when this podcast comes out on Wednesday, you message me Thursday. If it's Friday night, message me again, and I will do that night.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I'm going tomorrow.
Yes.
You know, like, let me, like, help, like, you're not bothering me is what I'm saying.
Yeah, so a lot of people think, well, I text him, he didn't text me back. Either A, he doesn't want to, or he doesn't care about me as a person or a customer. And it's not that at all. There's a lot of information that's going back and forth. A lot of stuff's happening in the shop and personal life, job, like he said. So neither one of us take it as a, hey, you're bothering us. It's just it's almost like a friendly reminder. Hey, man, I was just sending it to you again. I know you got a lot going on. Do you think this is something you could help me with? Blah, blah, blah. So absolutely, continuously, it's almost a squeaky wheel kind of thing. Just keep being
because I'm sitting here today, and I'll be here next. If I'm here next Saturday, I'll be like, because it is Saturday when we're filming this. I'll be like, what did I do last week?
Yeah.
Or how did I get here?
Yeah. Yeah. What are we doing now?
Yeah. Like, why is my Jeep still in the shop?
That's not going to happen, by the way.
I know. I'm just saying, though, but, like, those things, it just time flies, and you don't think about every little thing. And then
Plus you have a kid.
Yeah, I got, like, he's almost 2. He'll be, 2 in November. And it's just one of those things where when I walk inside that house, Dad takes over, and I want to hang out with him as much as I can for the small amount of time that it unfortunately is, because I have all these other things.
We're going to do a celebrity guest appearance with Sonny one time.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he should be on for a few minutes.
Yeah. So, that just remind us. But we want to help you, like Stoney, for example. Hey, you're going on these trails. This is the, not saying like problem areas, but hey, you might want a spotter here, or hey, you don't need to worry about this. This is going to be.
Or let's go back to the, a lot of rides that I see on social media like Facebook. There's a bunch of groups that I'm in that I follow, and they'll say you got to have, stock friendly ride, or 37s or larger ride, or 40s and lockers rides. Well, if you're accustomed to that and you know what they're talking about, that's fine. If you're new, let's say you buy a Jeep and it's got 37s on it. Hey man, can I do that trail? Like, they say this is supposed to be 37s and lockers, and there would be times that we would be able to tell you, look, man, you're fine as long as you have a good spotter, or you're fine as long as you trust the people you're with, or if you have a winch, or, oh no, you're absolutely fine. That's basically a stock ride. So, and everybody has different terminology to a stock friendly or a 35 and larger ride. So
my stock friendly rides, they're stock friendly, but I wouldn't say
they're pavement. Yeah.
And I've had a lot of I've done a lot of quite a few stock friendly rides. And by the end of it, they're like,
I didn't know a stock Jeep could even remotely do that.
Yeah, they were like, this is called stock friendly. I said, well, your stock Jeep did it.
Yeah.
And it didn't have a problem. So if you're considering a stock friendly ride to be a dirt road, unchallenging at all, and because the thing is, I have progressed through every evolution of stage of Jeep besides full on buggy at this point.
Or like a rear steer Jeep,
or tube chassis, whatever. I still have full body, full body, this, that, and the other. Like, I've gone through that progression of going from stock to budget, all the way up. And so, like, I know what that stock Jeep is capable of. So if we go down that whatever size ledge or go up it, and you don't have a problem, but you're like, oh, well, my skid plate hit, or your stock Jeep still did it.
Yeah,
that's still stock friendly.
So let's touch this too. And I don't know this is out there in a wide base, but we also do off-road recovery. So if you take your group out or you go out, don't wheel by yourself, please. But if you and your buddy go out and you wheel and you have a problem and you get stuck, by all means, if you can self-recover, then do that safely.
Yeah.
Right? But if you get to a point to where you're uncomfortable with it, or it feels unsafe, or you just don't have the knowledge, like, hey, man, I don't really know how we got here, but I'm in a predicament. Like, I can't get out of this. I don't know who else to call. We also offer that. So
if you're in the Alabama area, we'll come out and do it. Like within, like I'm saying, like Stoney, if you're going to these places, you're familiar with it.
That's right.
Hawk Pride, Stoney, Morris Mountain,
Top Trails,
all those different places that are
Talladega National Park, Bankhead,
stuff like that. we will come because it's close, right? If you are somewhere else in the country,
Tennessee,
whatever,
Arkansas, whatever.
If you got Jeeps with you, we can find people. If you can't do it yourself, worst case is if it's that bad, I'll make the trip, but that's going to be costly.
We do charge for this, by the way. Unfortunately,
there's a lot of cost in this. So if you have a bunch of buddies that are willing to help you pull you out of the mud hole, like I'm not the guy.
No.
You should probably call to pull you out of a mud hole. Like you were calling me
if you flipped,
and it is bad, and like you can't get it out, or you have broken control arm brackets completely off of this, and I have
axle out from
I have to come weld it back on in the middle of the trail. We have portable welders. So I have not only a welder in my Jeep, but I have access to like generator welders. If you there's people that are not really familiar with that, or a generator and a welder. There's two options.
Yep, that's right. Exactly.
They're two different things. So we have options to that. Like we have trailers that we can take off road if we need to. Like you were calling me, like it's almost like insurance. You know, like we are.
Yeah, I would tell you if you've reached a point to where you think your Jeep is like either unsurvivable or undrivable, like. You can't recover it on your own, and if you do recover it on your own, you don't know what you're going to do with it after.
Right.
Yeah, that's when you make the call to Waypoint. Hey.
Yeah, and it's not that I'm trying to be like greedy and want to make money, because I've heard that comment before.
Well,
but the thing is, fuel. I don't know. Y'all seen diesel prices lately?
Well, I'm gonna throw this out there, and this may be a little controversial. I don't mean it to sound this way, but everybody goes to work, and typically you ask for a pay rate. Right? And you ask for a pay rate for a couple of reasons. One, you're doing a job. You're performing a service.
Right.
And the other reason is because you're away from home typically. Right. You're even if you work from home remotely, you're taking time away from your family to do that service. Right. Right. So in that service, there are added costs of maintenance on the vehicle, recovery gear that's needed. Recovery gear does wear out, by the way. I don't know if y'all know that. But you have to replace it. Tires, wear and tear on the Jeep, on the truck, on the trailer, gas to get there. You know, anybody that owns a diesel knows that diesels are crazy expensive right now, and the fuel. Insurance on that, because you have to have all this stuff to be able to perform the task at hand, right? So
and most tow services are not going to go off the pavement.
Oh yeah, they'll tell you. Like we've had rollbacks, we've had records. Hey man, if y'all can get it to the pavement, we can take it from there. So,
but we're willing to go off.
Yeah, we'll go off road. We'll get your Jeep, and again, if you're in the Alabama area, we can get your Jeep on the trailer. Then we can get it to your house. But
house, shop, whatever.
Yeah, wherever you need it to go. So just understand that it's not a money racket. We're not doing this to try to get rich off of it. We're actually doing it to help you guys. As a service performed by, I don't know, and maybe they're out there and I'm just not, acclimated to that, but I don't know too many shops or off-road groups that do off-road recovery specifically.
Besides out west.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anything here is just kind of not a thing.
Yeah, it's not a thing.
So it's to help you guys, but there is a cost associated with that, and it's different. It's different based on a bunch of different variables.
There's a lot of factors in that.
Yeah, so we can't just say, "Hey, man, we're going to charge you X to come recover your Jeep." So,
I mean, there is a cost to get me out of bed, but
agreed.
And
you got to feed him, that's a growing cost. I'm just kidding.
Growing boy over here.
So just understand, and if you've gotten to the point to where you feel like you need us to come out, then you're probably in a situation to where you're okay with paying someone to come out.
And we can, if this is how you choose and your insurance will pay, we can go through insurances.
There you go.
So that we have done that a few times already in the past where, like Talladega National Ford, like stuff like that where you can do it because some insurances will, some insurances won't.
That's right. Depends
and
on
it never hurts to ask them.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can say, hey, you don't have to call them and say, hey, I flipped here. You can say, well, if we're planning an off-road trip next month.
If something was to
happen, would it cover this? And so, but the insurance we worked with was fine. The only thing they asked us, and I've said this many times to many people, is they asked us, like, they said that they looked at the cost and they said, why is there so many labor hours associated with this, and why were you there so long to recover? I said, well, it was off road down massive ravine, and they were like, okay.
Yep.
And they paid it.
Yeah,
like,
most people, even
it's understandable.
Yeah, most people who have conceptually understand a wrecked vehicle, and in the insurance world, that's what they're there for, right?
They know
that the vehicle is wrecked, right? And as soon as you say it's off road, it's down a ravine, or it's in the middle of a gulch.
Yeah, you don't even want to know what they charge these 18-wheelers when they wreck.
Oh yeah, good Lord. Yeah, no, that's
You're in
astronomical.
the tens of 20, 30 thousand or more dollars.
Yeah. So again, that's the service that's out there. If you guys get out there, we try to help in any way we can to prevent that. Obviously, that's the why you call us on the trails you're going on. But if something happens, and it could always happen, accidents happen every day, and you need that service that's out there. I don't know that we've actually marketed that or advertised that.
It's out there, but it's not like, I wouldn't say out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're willing to do that. Just know there is a cost associated with that, and we're not getting rich off of it.
Oh, absolutely not. No. It's ultimately to help the Jeep community.
It literally just pays. Like, I don't make any money. Basically I'm even.
Break even.
Yeah.
It's more about getting the Jeep and the occupants.
Because you are taking me away from home, or taking me away from the shop where I am making money on a customer, Jeep, or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, with all that being said, we appreciate y'all tuning in. I know we probably went a little longer. I'm looking at the timer, but I know we took some break. We didn't take breaks, but little pauses in there so we wouldn't cough like crazy or whatever the case may be. But we really do appreciate you tuning in to this episode 2 of season 2.
That's right.
Of the Waypoint X Wednesdays. Like I said, if you have any suggestions or questions about whether it's episode 1, 2, or any of the future ones, please put that in the comments, because we're always looking at the comments of no matter what episode it is. And so if you'd like to see something changed or talked about, let us know.
Specifically the time, because from season 1,
they were like 20 to 30 minutes long, and now we're going from like an hour and a half to 2 hours long, or hour to 2 hours long.
Yeah, let us know if you like the longer ones, or if we do need to scale that back.
Yeah, like if you would like it more at an hour, whatever the case may be, because we are going a little long. But I feel like there's a lot of information we're putting out there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And we're not just hitting bullet points. We're actually doing some subsections of subsections.
You're not just glossing over the whole thing.
We're not giving you the cliff notes.
I agree with that.
Full thing. So appreciate it, y'all. And thank y'all for tuning in. Hope to see you on the trail.